to my channel. Thank you for clicking this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I invite you to subscribe and see my content. If there's anything you guys want to see, please let me know in the comments below. I look forward into reading them. Please don't forget to like and also share my videos so our family can keep on growing. And without further say, let me just explain something. As you guys can tell, the background is different than from where I was before, and that is because at that time I was in a homeless shelter with my family. um, we were waiting for a process to get this apartment, but unfortunately it was taking too long. But we're finally here. We're finally in the apartment. We actually have a week and 2 days living here. So I was also busy fixing the house around, setting everything into place. My babies have their own room, so I have a lot of space now, a lot of room. I actually have a spare room, which I would love to like be using it for my nail studio. Um, but yeah, those are videos that I will be talking about and showing more later on. I just wanted to clarify that for the reason being of me being away for so long. And with that being said, thank you for your support. Thank you for sitting there and listening to me and watching me. Thank you. I am truly grateful. Even though if it's just only 8 viewers or you, I'm pretty sure I could reach more. And I'm being patient and I'm doing this with love and care. Thank you guys. So where did we left off? So on my last video, I talked about the birth of my baby, Irene Scarlett. She was born on February 13th. Yes, she's my biggest gift from God, my Valentine's gift ever, the best gift I could ever ask for out of pure love. And I am truly grateful. And my other toddler, she is gonna turn 3 now in March. My baby Yvette, my first baby. So yeah, so this video is gonna be how I got into the postpartum depression, or how at least I thought and I feel that I have postpartum depression. So what happened next was, after being in the hospital for the recovery days, which is normally 3 days, like 2 nights, and then on the third day in the afternoon, if everything went good, you had no fevers, you had no infections, after giving birth, then you are discharged from the hospital and you're able to go home with your baby. So thankfully, thanks to God, we were both healthy, my baby and I was able to go back home on the regular 3 day recovery. So when I went home, I was very emotional. I wanted to see my first baby, my toddler, because at that time I had not seen her for like 3 days because they weren't allowing her to go into the visitations, like the visiting, so she could go visit me. They weren't allowing her to go in because they say it was like flu season, which technically it was, I guess, because it was like February. But now that I'm thinking about it and made myself like the conclusions, it was because COVID-19 was already happening. So yeah, I believe COVID-19 was already happening because, like, I think 2 weeks or even a week before I went into labor, um, I was at the laundromat. I was washing all the baby's clothes because she was about to be here in this world. So I went to wash my clothes and everything, to have everything sanitized and clean for my new baby to come home. And in the laundromat, I was watching the news about China, like how China was having COVID-19, and just a lot of people were like literally dying in huge amounts. And I remember thinking, wow, like that's crazy. And I even said that, like, wow, thank God, like it's only happening over there, or at least it seems so far from like where I was at. Like I'm here in the Bronx in New York, but you know, um, as everybody knows, like this whole pandemic is all over the world. It was in Italy, Russia, like all over the world. Yeah, so due to that fact, you know, in labor and delivery and around the babies, obviously the babies are so delicate. They don't have their immune system built up yet. You know, they're just like very vulnerable to get any type of diseases, infections. Even like the flu could be very dangerous for them and like cause a lot of damage and like even death. So that's why the nurses they were just being very, very precautious about it, not letting children in at all times. So the only person that was able to visit me was my husband and my mother-in-law, and also my sister-in-law. She went over to visit me and meet the baby. My brother-in-law also went there, and my mom, she was spending the the night with me. Like she stood overnight with me at the hospital. So I'm very grateful to them and to my mom, especially because she lives very far from me, like 2 hours and a half away, and she actually, like, you know, made the time and effort to come to see me at birth. And she was able to stay with me all this time. So at that point, you know, obviously I'm very emotional, I'm very happy. My baby's finally born, everything was good. And at the same time, you know, I wanted just my family complete, like, and I was missing my toddler, my baby vet. I was missing her, and I just wanted to go home. And when I got home, she wasn't there because obviously she was in my mother's-in-law house. So um on my way from the hospital, I was gonna stop by and pick her up, but at that time that I was around there, since the hospital is really close to my mother's-in-law, um I believe she was asleep, or she had just taken a shower and her hair was wet, or that they were showering her. I don't quite remember, but the point was that I got home half an hour before my baby got home. Once somebody like was able, my sister-in-law was able to pick her up and bring her home to me. And at that time, like, I walk into my apartment, that it was a one bedroom at that time, and with my husband and my baby in my arms. And I just remember feeling this void in me because I didn't feel complete. I was missing my baby horribly. I have never ever been away from her ever. Like, I was even anxious and like nervous, like how my baby was gonna react, because we have never been separated from each other, like since the pregnancy, everything. It was the very first time I've been away from her like for that long, especially, you know, at nighttime. um I was just so used to being with her all the time. And I know they were at her family's house and stuff, and there I know that she was good, in good hands, like very nice people. um but you know, as a mom, it's just like, how can you be without your kid, like even a day? Like, sometimes I know they drive you crazy, or you just want to break from them, but at the end of the day, like, you're always looking for them, you know. It's like you're always looking for their noise, their like those travesuras que hacen, like, you know, like the little trumps and stuff. I don't know. So at that time, my baby wasn't around, but once she got home, I felt so happy, like so in love, like with both my babies. And her reaction, oh my god, you guys, her reaction was the most purest of sisters love. Like, she was waiting for her little sister for a very long time. She was ready for her. Even from pregnancy, she would rub my belly, she would kiss my belly. I will always make sure, you know, for her to know that there was a baby coming home, so she wouldn't feel the rejection of us, or like having that tension taken away from her, or you know, just feeling like she was being pushed aside. But her reaction since pregnancy, it was like very loving, very accepting. She like literally captured the the feeling, like she knew what was going on. She didn't understand what was happening to me, but as she was seeing my belly grow and I me explaining to her I have a baby in me, um there's even there was even these times where like she would play around and she would say like she has a baby in her too, because she just wants to do everything mommy does. Like she's such a diva, like my baby es bien coqueta, like todo quiere hacer, todo me copia. And she was saying she would have a baby, and I would tell her like, no, you're not getting no baby yet, like you're a baby yourself. Like I remember it's funny now, and like, you know, it's like so cute and all, but once she grows older, it's not gonna be cute no more when she tells me she having a baby. If she's still a teenager and she's young, of course, but other than that, you know, I'm good. But I got off topic now. So she was knowing, she knew her sister was coming. And even when I went to the hospital, I told her, you know, mom is gonna go have the baby, and she, next time you see me, you'll be meeting your baby sister. And you guys, when she got home and she saw the baby, she was so overjoyed. Like she wanted, like she was kissing her and hugging her, and it was like she was understanding everything that was going around her. Like I couldn't even, like, you know, explain the feeling of seeing my two daughters, like seeing my toddler, like who's just, you know, she was about to turn 2 years old, because she was born on March 9 and Irene was born February 13th, so they were like only about 10 days apart for their birthdays. So in 10 days my baby Yvette was going to turn 2 years old. So I captured those moments, of course. I'll be leaving it to you guys at the end of this video, so you guys could see her reaction and like how she was just embracing her sister. So so when I got home, that's how it happened. I had some family, you know, meeting the baby over since they couldn't go to the hospital and stuff like that. And my husband at that time, like I said, his start date was March 9th on my baby's birthday. My toddler's second birthday was his first start day, and everything was going good. Everything seemed that we have finally gotten something positive, and from now on things were going to be okay. And I believe the postpartum depression was going on from pregnancy, because I was under this stress and emotional like breakdowns. Like you guys, like I can't even explain, like I can't even start saying or even talking about it. Like it brings me back to those moments where like I would just be scared to death, or like feeling guilty, or like feeling very very desperate for having my baby Irene, for her coming into this world without even knowing the future, without even knowing what I could like offer her and give her, because like I said, we had nothing. We had no income, none of that stuff. So I was just overwhelming myself with all the responsibilities that was coming our way, like all the expenses, like the diapers, the wipes for both of the babies. You know, it was like winter time, and it was just those moments where like you're just literally walking in the dark and you don't know when you're gonna see a light out. Like I would like just pray to God. I just pray and pray and pray to like my father, because he passed away when I was a baby. I was 2 weeks old when he passed away, and he's always been right beside me. Like everything I do, everything, I always involve him. Like I believe that he helps me out from heaven some way, somehow. It's something I carry with me along the way throughout my whole life. Everything I do it for him. Everything, he's like my purpose. He's like everything to me. He's the center of my life. Like whatever I do it with love and dedication, and it always goes back to him because I want to make him proud. I want him to see me come into a woman like, with good values, good things that, also my mom has put good values in me, and she tried, she raised me right and stuff. So, but everything, I've always had that void in me, um, not having a complete family or like a normal family. And I know a lot of people out there also don't have their dads, either because they're passed away or because they just basically walked out of their lives. It's many reasons, a lot of things, but I guess you guys can understand me when I say I'm looking for that void, or like that that feeling of a father, of the father figure, like who was not there. I didn't have him, he wasn't there and stuff, and I had no one as a father figure as well. But that's another story if you guys want to know. It's a lot. So yeah, so as a parent, like all these things was going on with me, and being just scared and feeling guilty. I'm just like, was it right? Was it right to plant my baby? Was it right to the things that was going on? And at some point, I felt like it was my fault. I felt like I should have just waited. I started doubting myself. But it's just life, guys. Like sometimes life just hits you with everything unexpectedly. Like one day you could be up here, like you could be the best person, like have a job, have a home, have a car, like have goals, and then the next day you don't know if you end up in the street or if you end up homeless. You'll be in a homeless shelter, like the way I ended up in a homeless shelter. Like it's just all these things. So so since pregnancy, I guess my emotional roller coaster was like all over the place. Like I felt happy. I tried to embrace all the stages of pregnancy. Like I tried to do my best to make it a positive way, to like make it happy, like a happy memory, happy pregnancy. And of course it was happy, but again, like it was also moments of fears, moments of like desperation, being desperate, like not knowing what to do. Like I said, I was selling cupcakes at pregnant, like 7 months pregnant, and just trying to do something, trying to do something. And again, like not letting others know, like no family knew about this, like no, not nobody. It was just me and my husband. Has always been a very good team. We'll be making 10 years on this 31st October 31st. We'll be making a decade together, you guys, like a decade. I still can't believe it. Like time has gone by so fast, and it's just me and him. He's like my ride and die, like all the time, all the time. He got my back, I got his back, and that's the way how it is. So all those emotions, like I said, it's been from a very long time, and thank God, my husband was working, so things were working out better. Like my emotional stress was like getting lower in that part, like in the economic part, and having income done. Things got better for us. We were able to buy my baby's bassinet, a little rocker, and this was like months after, like I'll say April, around April, at the end of April, we were able to get her little bassinet because we catched up on paying all the bills. We were paying our rent, and yeah, we were getting better. But dealing with the baby, first of all, my baby Irene, she was just on top of me, you guys. Like they call it cluster feeding because I was breastfeeding my baby. Both of my babies were breastfed, exclusively breastfed, no formula, no nothing, because I wanted to give them the best I had in the most natural way, which was like breastfeeding. And I support other moms too, like who doesn't or can or have trouble with lactating and can't breastfeed, and they have to go to formula. But if you're one of those persons, like, don't feel bad, don't feel guilty. Like, you're trying to do what's best for your baby, like you're still feeding your baby the nutritions. You still trying to be a good mom. You waking up to making the bottles rather than like being at bed and just basically breastfeeding your baby, which is more helpful at nighttime and it's less work to do. But I understand what you go through, because that's me right now. um my baby Irene, she had cluster feeding, meaning that she just wanted to eat 24/7, literally 24/7. She won't nap, she still doesn't nap. Just now I'm starting to put her on a schedule, but she just turned 8 months old. But as a newborn, she wouldn't sleep at all. And most babies I know, like, they just stay sleeping all day, poop, and just wake up to eat, literally. But my baby, she wasn't those babies. She wasn't. And it's totally the opposite from my baby vet, from my toddler. Because my toddler, like, she would nap, she would take long naps. She was a good baby. I could have done everything, like cook, clean, eat. I had time for myself. But with Irene, I didn't. I couldn't even use the bathroom. I couldn't even like eat. I couldn't even get up and cook for myself to eat because she wouldn't allow me to do so. Like, I wouldn't have time for myself. Like, the times where I needed to use the bathroom, I will have to like just hear her cry her lungs out every time. Like, I'll put her down, or like to just be there. Um, she, and at that time she's still not used to the arms, because I know a lot of people would tell me, oh, it's because you got her carrying her too much, or she wants you to just be carried and things like that. But it wasn't even that. It was not even about being carried at all. It was just that she just wanted me to breastfeed her. And sometimes she'll be so full that she will end up throwing up, but she wouldn't stop crying. All she would just want is my boob in her mouth. And that transition, it was very hard. It was very hard because, like, as you guys know, or if you don't know, breastfeeding takes a lot from your body. It drains you. Like, you guys have no idea. If you're a breastfeed mom, like, keep on going. I know how hard it is. Trust me. Like, I did it for a year and 3 months from my toddler. Like, I took away breastfeeding when she was a year and 3 months. And because at that time I found out I was pregnant also, but I was already starting to wean her off my breast. But I did exclusively breastfeeding. And for baby Irene, I wanted to do the same thing. I wanted to just have her breastfed, no formula, no other thing. But due to that, as you guys know, I spoke about before, with the stroke happening and my physical paralysis, I was forcefully stopped breastfeeding. And it's something I still am dealing with. Like, I'm not 100% satisfied with that. Even though it is a big help right now, because, my husband, he would try to help, but she wouldn't want to. She wouldn't want, like the first month she would take bottles, because I would pump the milk out and have them in bottles and like stored on the fridge for emergencies, or like when I would go out to the doctor's appointment, and being out in public, and also to my husband to help me, because he will offer me his help. And my baby, she did took the bottle, but only for the first month. So from the time she was born until she was 1 month old, she was taking bottles. After that 1 month, she refused the bottle. She didn't want to. she just didn't like the feeling of the nipple, of the plastic, of the bottles. Like, she wouldn't want nothing. The pacifier, she didn't took the pacifier either to soothe her down. Sorry, excuse me. And it was just really hard. It was really hard breastfeeding, cluster feeding. Like, I have never ever thought in my life I will go through something like this, and not having time to do nothing, not having time to shower, like nothing at all. My husband, when he'll be home or he'll come from work, I will shower, and it was like 5 minutes showering. Like, basically I have to rush because she will like cry, like, and when babies are like so small, and hearing them cry excessively, and like their lungs, like you could even see the ribs, like their lungs. I don't know if I'm explaining myself. I'm sorry, you guys, but I just don't know if you guys understand, and I'm probably not explaining myself right. And also, it's very difficult for me to talk because of the physical like paralysis. Like, my tongue is numb, so sometimes the words doesn't sound right, like, or I can't pronounce them right. And you know I'm sorry, but yeah, as I was saying, she wouldn't sleep. She still doesn't sleep. Now she's 8 months, and the most she does is like 30 minutes of nap time. I'm getting her used to like a schedule. Like, I want her to like nap for at least an hour, 2 hours, for me to like be able to get stuff done around the house. Like, but at the beginning, like when she was like a newborn, it was a mess. It was a mess. Like, the feeling of it, like just wanting a break. It was so hard. It was so hard. And then my toddler, like I said, she was always on top of her. She loved kissing her. She loved talking to her, like trying to calm her down when I'll be in the bathroom. But again, she was smaller at that time, so she didn't understand when like I would tell her like, oh, you can't be on top of her too much. You can touch her face. You can't. There was a lot of things I was telling her she can't do, just because her little hands will be dirty, because she'll like play with her toys, be running around, and like it was just not sanitizing. And especially because at that time it was already confirmed that COVID-19 was a full pandemic, like nationalized pandemic, where like we had to be extra careful, extra like clean, sanitizing, and all that. So ever since that happened, I was even more restricted with my baby's safety, aside from the normal, because everybody knows like newborns, you really have to take care of them and try to keep them as clean as possible and not have all the germs all up on them. So this was like a must, like a very very must thing to do. But again, just being home alone by myself with the two kids, it was almost impossible to like for my toddler to not get to her. But we tried, and thank God, like I said, my babies has never been hospitalized or gone to the doctor for something major. Like, no, until this day, no, thank God. And so Yvette, my toddler, she started seeing rejection. It wasn't a rejection, it was just that she had to learn, or like most likely like she felt that I was pushing her away, because like she would be hungry, because like I said, I wouldn't even eat until 5 in the afternoon, that my husband will be home from work. Will be my first meal of the day, and I would just try to drink water and try to snack in between. But it was so hard. It was just so hard. And my baby Yvette, which is my toddler, she will be hungry, like with her, like I've always did her breakfast, like no matter what. Like, I'll put the baby down and just let her cry, but I had to make sure my other baby was eating too. Like, I couldn't disobey myself from my responsibility of a mother, especially to my baby. Like I could stand like without eating all day or anything like that, but starving my child is like something I will never do. Like never, never, never. So I will give her breakfast, and sometimes she'll want more, or like she'll, she was just so used to me being on her all the time, like on her demands. Like if she told me, oh, I want water, I'll do it right away. If I want to eat, I'll give her right away. So her having me being there for her literally 24/7 has just becoming like a second thing on my list. Like if she want water or something, like I'll start telling her like, wait, like you need to wait, please, like I can't get it right now, like I can't, I'm putting the baby to sleep, because at that time my priority was feeding the baby, because she will be breastfeeding, but she will fall asleep. And when she'll fall asleep, then I'll lay her down and I'll have like a few minutes in between, but then she'll wake up again. And like she wouldn't nap. She would nap. I remember the first couple of days, but my toddler would like wake her up, because like I said, we had no crib, no bassinet, nothing to put her in, so we were just all of us on the bed. So when I would lay the baby down on the bed, my toddler was used to watching her videos and jumping in the bed, because she would like sing to them and like dance. So she started dancing, and she would technically just wake up the baby up and wouldn't let her sleep, because she was just used to that. And even though I would tell her, oh, you can't jump, or you can't be like that too much to the baby, because she gotta be careful with the baby's head, you're gonna hurt her or anything, or step on her. And that's when she started feeling all that rejection and stuff. So that's how it was going with me on a daily basis, 24/7. And my toddler would like see this rejection in me, and then I was feeling her rejection towards me, because she wouldn't want me touching her anymore. She wouldn't let me carry her. Every time like I'll try to comfort her, she would just call out for her dad. When her dad would be at work, she would go running to the door, like the entryway, where like she knew that was the exit to go outside and stuff. So she would go running to the hallway from the room. She would get up from the room crying and go all the way to the entryway to cry out for her dad, and we'll start calling him out to come home. And she was just feeling all this. So obviously, again, like with all my emotions and feeling that postpartum, like I was already feeling myself like getting it, like I had it. And I would just like literally just cry my eyes out, because I didn't know what to do. Like I knew my baby was feeling that way, because I was feeling the change too. I was feeling the whole transition of motherhood happening again, but in a different level, a whole different 360 that I wasn't prepared for. I wasn't ready for. I thought I was ready. I thought, like everything's gonna be okay. Like, because like I said, my mom wasn't really happy with my second pregnancy, even though she knew about the planning of it, like before I even got pregnant, or even when I got pregnant, she wasn't too happy about it, because she said it was too soon, and she was just overjoyed with her first granddaughter, because my daughters are her first two granddaughters. She has grandsons, but my daughters are the first females for her, like for her granddaughters. And I guess she wasn't ready for a second one. Like she just wanted my baby Yvette at the moment to like be the only one, and she was telling me that I was too young, it was too soon, that I should wait more and things like that. But at the end of the day, it was like my decision. Like me and my husband, we knew we wanted our second baby for the company of our toddler. But she was always saying negative things, like instead of making me feel happy about it, or like giving me encouragement, that things will work out fine and things like that. She would just like make this idea, like bad, because she would tell me that my baby, first of all, she was gonna feel the feeling of rejection towards me and my husband to her, because now it's the new baby that's gonna have the attention. And she was saying that she was gonna get jealous, which toddlers do tend to get jealous in certain stages. It all depends on them. But she was just making bad scenarios, like, at all times. Like, instead of having me like calm down and be like, everything's gonna work out, or even if the obstacles are there, that she will be there to like help me out if anything. But she was just being negative, negative, negative since the beginning of pregnancy. And all those moments were coming back, like, from my mom telling me all these things, and like making me feel guilty now, and like horrible. And now my toddler doesn't even want me, like feeling her rejection towards me, because she'll feel that I'm not with her no more, like that I don't want her, that I don't pay attention to her. And she just got so curious about the baby, and she just wanted to be on top. So I always had to be watching her, even when I used the bathroom. Like, one time, the first time I ever used the bathroom, because since we didn't have no like crib or bassinet or anything like that to put the baby, that I'll put on my toddler's stroller, her baby stroller. Like, we still had it, because, like, again, she was a year old, so I was just using that all this time. But once the baby got here, we still used it for like the first couple months, like I believe like the first 2 months, 3 months. Yeah, like between 3 to 4 when I got the bassinet. But because Irene, she will always want to be rocked to sleep. Like, it doesn't matter, like, it don't even have to be in the arms to rock her to sleep. It would be like the stroller, because I will rock her there in the stroller to put her to sleep when I wouldn't want to breastfeed anymore, or I didn't even have milk anymore to give her, because she would like literally dry me out. She would dry me out, and I had no more milk to give her until my body would like produce again more milk later on, or when my body knew that it was time to feed the baby. But my body got so used to into producing a lot of milk, because she was always sucking on me, like on my breast and stuff. So that originally generates like your body to produce more milk, because the baby is not satisfied, so it's asking for more production of milk. So I had a lot of milk, and that's why I'm telling you, like, I had bottles and bags of like stored milk, because I will pump, because then eventually I wanted to just exclusively pump. I didn't want to breastfeed no more, because my desires for like having her on me, I didn't want them. It was too much. Like, I even got to the point, like, when she was about 2 months old, because mind you guys, like, this was 24/7 breastfeeding, 24/7, without no breaks, without no naps, like nothing, no help at all. And the bottles, she only took like a month, and then she didn't want the bottles. The pacifier, she never took it. She never accepted the pacifier, so I couldn't do nothing about it. And those times, like, I wanted to stop breastfeeding so much. I even tried giving her formula, but she didn't like it. Like, she wouldn't take the formula. So then I did enforce it on her, and also because, deep down, like, I also didn't want to give her formula, but I was seeing it as a way, like, to help myself, because I wouldn't eat. I would have headaches, like, all the time, because I didn't have vitamins on, like, nothing. I was continuing to take my prenatals, because I knew that I wasn't eating nothing. I couldn't have the time to eat. And so at that time, yeah, like I said, I was rocking my baby into the stroller, and she would fall asleep there, and I would like strap her in for safety and things like that. So once I went to the bathroom, and obviously it's just me and my girl, so I leave the door open. When I'm with my babies, I leave the doors open, because, like, anything could happen, any accident or nothing. And so what happened is, like, the baby was asleep, and I just hear her screaming, like crying, like she got hurt or something. And I ran out of the bathroom, and I see my toddler on top of her. She literally climbed into the stroller. Like, my toddler, she was always those curious babies. Like, she would climb on anything, on everything she could find. She was like that since a baby. Like, ever since she started crawling, she will find ways to climb into stuff. So she climbs on top of the stroller and is sitting on her leg. Like, thank God it wasn't on her chest or her head. Oh my God. The the fear I had in me, like, I was so mad. Like, you guys, I got so mad, and for the first time, for the very for the very first time, I screamed to my baby, to my toddler. Like, I screamed at her, like like hard. Like, I screamed at her, and I I grabbed her because she was on top of her, like on top of the stroller. So I just remember grabbing her, like, with so much, like, not hate, but like with anger. I was so mad and like angry. Like, how could she do that to my baby? Like, how could she, like, she was just a newborn. Like, oh my God. And I just carried her, and I put her down on the floor, like that, like, you know, like you grab a statue or something and you just like slam it like down on the table or something. And I told my toddler, I'm like, you don't do that. Like, you don't get on top of a baby. You don't climb. Oh my God, you guys. That's what I did. Like, that was my reaction when I saw her. I saw her on top of my baby, because I imagined the worst. Like, you know, she like I said, she could have sat on her head, on her face. It's like she could have stopped breathing. It was just a lot of things running my head, like a lot. And I did that. And after, like, you know, obviously my baby's crying because she was so in shock. Like, she's always only received like love and words of appreciation and love, like, all the time, you know. But that day, what she did, it just got me so upset. Like, I don't know. I was like divided. I like, after that, I did that, you know. Obviously she started to cry and just like looking at me scared. Like, she gave me a scared face, like she was scared of me, like she was scared of me or something. Because, like I said, it was the very first time I've ever done something like that to her. And she just started to cry. She started to cry, and then I picked up the baby and I calmed her, and I rocked her, put her on my chest, like, for her to calm down, to let her know, like, I'm there, you know. And my baby, she was crying, my Yvette, like, you know, because she was just seeing me on this, like mom mode, like a monster. Like, she was seeing me as a monster. And like, at least that's what I was taking, like, you know, like the perspective, like that's what I was feeling, that she was being looking at me like that. And I after after I calmed the baby and she stopped crying, and I checked her to see, like, you know, she was hurt, she got any bruises or like anything, because the way she cried, it was just like so harsh. And you know, my toddler, like, seeing her, the way she looked at me, like scared of me, um it just broke my heart. It broke my heart, and I was just so, like, in need of help, and I couldn't get help. First of all, because, you know, like, COVID-19 wasn't, like, you know, people couldn't be together. You had to maintain social distancing. And also with the new baby at home, it was something that I wanted to take care of them, you know. Like, so even if I wanted to get help, like nobody could have helped me because everything was just so new. Um, People were scared, like people were even scared to come out their homes or anything like that. Like at this point, I was just seeing it like everybody's out for themselves, like everybody's just taking care of themselves and being selfish and just being there for themselves, you know. And that's how it was. And I wasn't like getting help. And then my baby, like, I feel like, you know, that's something that has marked her from that time on, because like I said, it was the very first time she did something like that. And I just remember like wanting her, like wanting to hurt her, like not hurt her, like on purpose. It was just like I wish she understood, you know, that she was like a little bit bigger for her to understand that she can't be doing certain things to her sister, because her sister is just indefensive. It's just a little baby. And but when I felt, you know, I felt back that fear, like when what happened with labor, like we had just gone home from the hospital like not too long ago, and just the thought of something happening to like my baby at home, you know, was something that I felt I could prevent, because you know I was there, I'm the mom, it's my job, it's my responsibility to maintain them safe. And I felt I couldn't keep her, I couldn't keep my baby safe, you know, like, and all these emotions, like I said, it's been from pregnancy, like scared about labor, scared about like coming to the world. And in the situation we were with, we were in like no money, like nothing to offer. And my baby, like my toddler, asking, you know, for like little treats that we would give her, because obviously we had the means to like treat her to like pizza, you know, like treat her like french fries or things like that that Angel would want. But at that point we couldn't afford it, because we didn't have nothing. We didn't have nothing, and the little bit that we had was just to use it on bills, to use it on things that were really necessary. Like at that time we were just prioritizing things. And you know, like my baby, I felt so bad. I felt like a horrible mom, because they were both my babies. And I couldn't I didn't know what to do. I just picked her up like that and screamed at her, and you know, told her like she can't hurt the baby, she can't climb on top of her, that she gotta be careful. And just hear her face, or like when she would go running to the door, like it's like her wanting to be away from me, because she feels that I didn't love her. That's hurting, guys. It's just really hard. And then after I did that, like obviously I started to cry, because I felt all the guiltiness, and I felt like a bad mom. And I was just full of negative things. Like I felt like I wasn't ready for this, or that I couldn't do it, you know. But it was just the beginning. It's like I said, the baby was just born, and it was just the beginning of it. And I was just like, how much longer, you know, like how much longer am I gonna have to go through this, like with all that, with my baby feeling that way. And then eventually I started being more aggressive, like with my talking, with verbally aggressive. Like I started doing that, because the help. I didn't have no help at all. My baby Irene just wanted me to breastfeed her and like not letting me eat nothing. So I'm already like, I'm cranky. I haven't ate. I'm tired. I don't sleep. Like she doesn't nap. She doesn't nap at all. The only good thing that helped me was that she would sleep throughout the whole night, because she wouldn't sleep during daytime, and that's still her schedule now. Like she don't sleep, but throughout nighttime she sleeps out like throughout the whole night because she's really tired. And um um so I'm sorry. You guys. It's just so real. Like what I'm saying, what I'm letting you guys know, it's literally like my life. So she wouldn't like nap or nothing like that, and the few minutes I have like of her napping, when she would fall asleep and my child would like make noise or like will wake her up, I would get so mad. Like I'll get so mad because it's just like my arms are resting, like my arms were like so sore of so much breastfeeding her. I would like lay her down and things like that, but it wouldn't be much help. It wouldn't be much of the help. And my toddler, like I would start being more aggressively verbally like aggressive to her, because I would tell her to like be quiet, like, but not be quiet, because be quiet is like nice, like, nicer, like more respectful way. I would tell her to be quiet, but in reality, like I would tell her to like shut up, like I would tell her like cállate, like no llores, or like stop, like really really like dominate her, like control her, like things like that. But and I know she's just a baby as well, like she's just a toddler, and she was at the stage of wanting to play, wanting to do her own things and noise and jump and dance and sing, and I wasn't allowing her to do so because I didn't want the baby to be awake, because I didn't want to breastfeed. I didn't want to breastfeed. I didn't want to carry her. I just wanted a break for myself. I wanted to even like eat. And then my baby, like, she started growing apart from me, my toddler, because, at that point, like, she hadn't gotten the idea that I had to be taking care of the baby. Like, sometimes she'll be understanding and she'll be like, okay, she'll listen, or she would tell me, okay, I'm sorry. She would start apologizing. She constantly apologized, and that was something like that also got to me. Like, it still gets to me because she still does it. She still does it when she doesn't have to be sorry, because she's just a child. She's just a baby as well. She shouldn't be apologizing for something that is natural to happen. Called me 2 weeks after I called myself in for an evaluation, and she basically did the intake form and asked questions like how was my mood today, and asking me if I'm eating right, if I'm sleeping right, just a whole bunch of questions that they gotta have a record or any type of history before with depression or stuff like that. And soon after that, we talked for about an hour, and it was mostly about the intake, like all my information and stuff like that, and just a little bit about like bullet points of what's been going on with me in the house and with the babies. Hold on. Sorry guys, I have my baby right here next to me, so I'm watching her. And yeah, so we took about an hour, and I also talked about my grandmother a little bit, because it was already June. It was June, and I had just found out, like, my grandma had a stroke, and that was being added more into my depression. Like I don't know, it was something real hard for me because my grandma, like, she had heart problems, and and I always had the idea, or like knew that the day that she'll pass away would be because her heart will give up, like her heart will stop pumping, and or she'll get like a heart attack or something like that because of her age. And then her heart problems, she had already like a long history, like more than 20 years. And we were like prepared for that. I was prepared for like that would be the reason for her death, or like see it coming. That's why I tried going every year or so, like when I can, ever since I got my green card, because I'm also undocumented. I'm an immigrant, and I am proud to say I'm an immigrant. I don't feel ashamed of it, and I'm actually grateful that my mom crossed the border and brought me over to have a better life, like have better opportunities. Like, I'm grateful. And I stopped seeing my grandmother when I was 5 years old. And when I turned 18 was the first time I went back to see her. And that was because my green card came in and I was able to go out the country. And it was the first thing I went to do, to go see my grandma and meet my dad's side of the family. And yeah, so, we always stood in touch and in communication. I would like call her back home and things like that. But when the thing that happened with the stroke, I just didn't know what to say. Like I wasn't shocked, and they were like, attending her and trying to take her to the doctors and stuff. But COVID-19 was also like happening over there, and there weren't a lot of things to do. A lot of doctors didn't want to like assist her like a house, and then we also didn't want to like get her admitted into the hospital because of COVID-19. And especially over there, like there was no type of help, no type of equipment, like nothing. It was like worse like than over here in these hospitals and things like that. Like it was just so dangerous. So everything came together, and when the stroke happened, like I was just in shock. And my family, my aunt who broke the news to me, who I'm very close to with also, she was crying, and obviously like she was like feeling bad that she had to like tell me the bad news and things, or everything that's going on. And I hold on guys. And I was just in shock. Like I wasn't saying nothing much. I was just saying, is she okay? Is she stable? How is she? Like, And after that, like it was just like tests getting done and things like that. And I sent a little bit of money, like a little bit I had, and I sent them over so they could take her to the doctor or get all the tests done needed. And I was just like in shock. And then after when I hung up, like I guess like it sunk in, and I just like broke down, like unbelievable that is not possible. Like how she, like how she got a stroke, like in her heart it was still good. Like her heart wasn't affected much by it. Like she could have had a heart attack right there and like literally just like passed away instantly. And but that wasn't the case. Like she still survived for 2 weeks after the stroke happened. And throughout that time I really wanted to go I wanted to go to Mexico. I wanted to say my last goodbye to her. I wanted to go see her. I always knew the planning. Like I said, we were like, I was kind of like prepared for it. And one thing I always knew for sure was I wanted to be there, like for her last goodbye. I wanted to be there and be with my family because, you know, like my therapist said, it's like me living through the death of my father all over again because his immediate family, like it's my grandmother, and that was the only thing linked to him, like something, you know, that like that was his mom, and you know, I didn't get the chance to meet my father. I didn't get a chance to be there for him, or like when he passed away, I didn't know him. I don't know him. I just know little bits of what my family tells me about him and stories, but it's not the same. And then my grandmother, like, I actually got to like live and share moments with her, you know, like she saw me pregnant of Irene. She saw my baby vet. She met her when she was 4 months, and I took her back when she was a year and 4 months. Like, you know, those are moments that like I have with her, and it's all thanks to like my husband supporting me and letting me go with his babies for a month, because it wouldn't be like a week, 2 weeks. I'll go like one whole month and try to like make the best time out of it. I'm checking this baby. She's playing toys, but I just gotta make sure what she has in her mouth. Um. So. So yeah, and I really wanted to go. I wanted to go see her, and I wanted to be there for like the burial and everything. Like I wasn't prepared for it. I wasn't ready. Or I didn't know what to expect. But one thing I didn't know in my heart was that I wanted to be there, and I didn't go. Like I didn't go because of COVID. You know, like COVID-19 just like fucked up a lot of shit. Like for a lot of people, you know, people had plans, people had things to do, and a lot of things got canceled. You know, there were still flights going on at that time, but we were still like at risk. Like, you know, it was still quarantine and stuff like that. And then also I was thinking about my babies. Like, I mean, Irene, like I knew if I would have gone, I would have to like take her because of the breastfeeding. And yeah, she would be the only one that I would take over, but at the same time I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want to risk it because if something happened, like I knew I wouldn't get the same attention that I get here in the United States, or especially for my baby. Like, you know, like I needed to take her to the pediatrician, to the emergency care, you know. So again, I was frustrated and I didn't know what to do. I wanted to go, but at the same time I knew I couldn't go, and everybody was telling me like you can't go, you know, think about your babies and all that, and that was just building up more anger because it was just like, wow, like, you know, like I gotta be like selfish, or like think about them first and not think about myself, you know, like not putting them first and not me, like, you know. And I understand it was something that, you know, things could have gone wrong, or I don't know what would have happened if I would have gone. And I was just afraid, so I didn't go. And now that that's been months ever since, I wonder like if I would have had the courage to go and like have my faith in me, like, and be like everything would be okay, like everything will work out fine, you know, like God will protect us and like we'll be fine. I wonder, like, you know, if I'll have that closure, because I don't have that closure when my grandma passing away. And all this happened around the same time the therapist was already treating me for postpartum depression and all this going on. So it helped me a lot, like being able to talk to someone about it to like help me go through my grief, because I mean I had that dilemma, like, and I had that everything. And then like it was that frustration of like what to say, because she got the stroke, but she was still able to listen and understand like what, like if you like FaceTime her, like she will be aware, like she didn't get a lot of brain damage from the stroke, so she was able to do some stuff. She was just paralyzed. She was paralyzed out of body, and she was on bed rest. Like she couldn't get out of bed because she was like technically paralyzed, but she wouldn't talk. She would just like nod her head like that she understands and stuff like that, and she was listening, like whatever you say, like she will listen to you and stuff. So I waited for like about 4 days before I spoke with her, because I would talk to my family and I would see her, but I wouldn't like talk to her, like FaceTime her talking. What happened? Give her toys, mommy. Look, right here. Give her the toys. Right here, mommy. So I didn't want to talk to her because I didn't want to say goodbye. I didn't want to talk to her like the way she was, the way seeing her. Not it wasn't the way she always been when I would go see her and we would talk. And I avoided it. I was avoiding it because I was avoiding my feelings, because I was scared and I was afraid. And also like somebody like will hold the phone for her to like FaceTime her, and I guess that kind of like also stopped me from opening up to her, or like really pour out my heart to her and talking to her, because the room was full of my family members. Everybody was there, all her kids were there. It was like a big family reunion, and it was something intimate I wanted to do like with her. Like I wanted to like just be me and her, like whatever I had to tell her would just stay between her and me. And I didn't want nobody like listening to me, or I don't know, I just didn't want nobody seeing me. And but I eventually like sucked it up, and I just talked to her, because I knew like if I didn't do it, then I was gonna regret it, or like I would never had that chance to tell her like I loved her one more time, for like the last time. And hold on, let me check on the baby. So I talked to her, or like at least she couldn't talk back to me, but she would just nod that she understands and stuff. And I was sending money, and I sent her like vitamins and stuff like that. I try to help the best way I could. And obviously the money was very important, because they over there, like there's no insurance, like no insurance, and for stuff like this you always gotta pay everything out of pocket. Everything was paid out of pocket. So yeah, so 2 weeks she was like that. And also like they sent me a video of like when the stroke happened, of how she was, and like seeing her paralyzed and like that. It was a big shocking. And I couldn't grieve, like, and I couldn't cry or pour out my emotions. I wanted to so bad, and I did cry like one day, I think. But everybody was just so worried about me. Like my mom, like they were just so worried, because they knew how close like we were, and more that the fact that like I spent a lot of time with her, and like they knew that it was gonna hit me like a lot, like like more worse than like other family members or stuff like that, because like I said, I have that history of like my father passing away, and I was like his last baby. Like I'm my father's baby. My sister, like it's just me and my sister from the same dad, but I mean he passed away when I was like born, so they always refer that to like
every time it's my birthday, like he's always around. And one, because he's always remembered, because it's just like, wow, it's been, like, it's your birthday, and now they like count down like the days that I only had with my dad, which was only 17 days. And that's always been special. Like, me seeing me in Mexico and spending time with my family, like, it was the most like a gift to them. Like, and I was like a gift to them, because they would like see their brother, their son, like, through me. And so like, I didn't want that, like, and I wanted to cry, like, I had that thing, that feeling of like my grandma, like, okay, like, this is it, like, she's probably gonna pass away or anything, I don't know. She looked so bad. The condition she was so weak, and and I had like everybody on top of me, like my mom, and everybody knew that it was gonna like hit me so hard, and they were so worried, and they would just tell me like, don't cry, think about the baby, because you're breastfeeding her. So when you breastfeed, they feel all your emotions. So it's like, if I'm crying, I'm putting all the sadness and anger and frustration to the baby, and like, it could like do her some harm. And that's what I just kept hearing. And that's why I kept hearing, like, oh, don't cry, you can't cry, like, stay strong, be strong, and things like that. And it was honestly irritating me and getting me wrong, because I'm like, it's not possible. Like, okay, I'm already sacrificing myself. I'm not gonna go over there. I'm not gonna risk myself getting COVID and like bring my newborn with me, you know. And I like, they're just telling me, don't cry, don't do this, like no, like, don't grieve. And then I was so mad, you guys. Like, I was just like, it's not possible. It's not possible that, like, I know I'm a mom. I know I gotta like stand up and be strong for my babies, and like put on this like superhero face and like everything. But at the end of the day, I was thinking, like, I'm a child too, like, those moments is just like, you just want your mom, like, you just want somebody to hold you and like tell you this is gonna be okay, or like give you a shoulder to cry on, and not tell you, be strong, don't cry because you're breastfeeding, you're doing this. So that was already bothering me, because like I said, I was already feeling not wanting to breastfeed. Like, I wanted to give up long time ago, like when my baby was like around 2 months. I wanted to stop breastfeeding, but she didn't take formula, so I was stuck breastfeeding. I felt like, I was forced to breastfeed, and now because I'm breastfeeding, I can't grieve. Like, I can't cry, I can't put my emotions out. And I remember just like at nighttime, the babies were asleep, and I was feeling so bad, and it was the only day I cried. But I cried out of anger most of all, because I'm just like, I know I'm a mom. I understand I'm a mom, but I'm also a human. I also feel, I'm not made out of a rock. Like, my heart is not a rock. Like, how can I stay strong? Like, how can I avoid not feeling how I'm feeling? And it's okay to cry. Like, I was telling like my husband and like my mom, like, I don't know, it's okay to cry. If I want to cry, I won't cry. But I was just so put that too much in my head, like, oh, the baby. And then I stopped myself. And it was only that one day that I just showed emotions, and it was mostly anger, because I couldn't grieve. Um and ever since that day, my emotions froze, because I was freezing them, because I was avoiding it. I was trying to think about it. I was trying to stay strong, and I didn't do nothing. I don't know, a week passed by, and the saddest day happened. Like, my grandmother passed away on June 27th. I mean, June 26th. She passed away June 26th. And when I got the phone call that she had passed away, I was just in shock. I still don't grieve. I still can't grieve, because for some reason, my therapist says like my emotions on the froze mode, and I gotta trigger them. And I tried triggering them um when she offered me to like do something to trigger it, like watch a sad movie, think of something sad that would just trigger your emotions, and you just like cry and let it let all of it out. And I tried doing things and I can't. I'm still in freeze mode, like with all my emotions. What happened? Okay, you gotta open it. So yeah, you guys. And after that, I was just mad at the world. I was just so mad, and I still don't grieve, and I feel bad for not grieving because I'm like, it's not possible. Like, I feel guilty. I feel guilty because I'm like, wow, it's been how many months now? Like, since June. So it's like June, July, August, September, October, 4 months. You know, like 4 months now, and I still don't grieve, like, you know. And I didn't expect this reaction. Like, I always thought I would be devastated, and like, I am devastated, and I feel things, but I can't let it out. I can't cry. I want to cry so bad. I want to grieve. Or maybe I'm just on denial, or I don't know what state of my head is. I don't know. But after all these things, the 26th that she passed away, June 29 was her burial day, and I knew that my grandma like would like come visit me, because I don't know if you guys believe, like, when your loved ones passed away, like, if they, you know, they still see their loved ones, like they go like to say their last goodbye or something like that. I don't know, but I believe in that. And I was actually expecting my grandmother. I knew I was gonna see her, or like she was gonna come. I felt it, and I knew she was going to do that, especially because the special bond we have and all the time we spent together. I'm like, I know she can't just go away like that, like without saying goodbye to me. What happened? Well, Mama, that's Yvette. Say hi.
Hi. Hi. Hi. ¿Cómo estás, niña?
She's saying, how are you guys? ¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás? Niño.
What happened? Okay, Mommy. All right, that's it. I'm gonna finish talking. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Beth.
All right, move away. Yvette.
Yeah, mommy.
All right, that's it, Mama.
Hi, Beth.
Yvette. Mommy gotta finish this. Irene, what are you doing? Irene. That's my baby, Irene. Irene. She's 8 months now, you guys. Stop, Yvette, stop. Sit down. Stop it. Sorry. The babies. Excuse me. So, what was I saying? Oh, and that I was expecting to see my grandmother. I wanted to see her, and I knew she was gonna come see me, and it happened. I did saw her. I was like waiting for her, like I was actually expecting her. And it was already the 29th. Well, it was the 30th, June 30th, because the 29th was the Sunday. It was her burial day, and it was around 2 in the morning. 2 in the morning when I was still awake, because I was talking to my mom from 9 p.m. to like 1 in the morning. We were just talking, and she was just trying to comfort me and just hearing me out and like communicate, like, and and again reminding me to don't cry, like take it easy, don't overdo it, and just trying to comfort me, and at the same time reminding me that I can't feel all these emotions. I can't do that because the baby, because I'm breastfeeding and stuff. So and so it was 1 in the morning when me and my mom finished talking, because she had work the next day, and she's like, it's already late, like let's go to sleep. I'm like, yeah. And I was stood up for like another hour, because at that time Irene woke up for feeding. So when I went to bed, I didn't go to sleep because I was breastfeeding her, and up to 2, it was already 2 in the morning. And I left the kitchen light on because I didn't want to be in complete dark. I was kind of like low-key, like scared and anxious, and I knew like whatever happened that night, like whatever paranormal, I don't know anything like that, but I believe in paranormal stuff. And when am I gonna finish this video, you guys? And what was I saying? That I believe in paranormal stuff. So yeah, so I left the kitchen light on because I didn't want to be in complete dark, because I knew something strange was gonna happen in my house. There was something, and if whatever happened, I knew it was gonna be my grandmother. I knew it was always gonna be her, especially that day. And sure enough, my baby was already asleep. I breastfed her, and as I was like looking, like I was about to like close my eyes, but I was like waiting, I see a shadow enter the room, because I left the door room open, because the kitchen light was like shining in, like it was giving some sort of like light for me to not be in complete dark. And I was completely awake, because I wasn't even asleep or nothing. That sometimes you wake up and you're still sleeping, you don't know that what your eyes see and things like that. So I have not been asleep, and I clearly saw like a smoke type shadow, like a shadow, but it was mostly like a smoke form, black, and it entered the room. And I see this clearly because again the background was like light, and all you just see is this smoke, like this mist. It was like a mist of smoke entering the room, and my husband was sleeping on that side of the bed, and it passes his body. Like I'm laying down like still, and like I'm just like basically paralyzed, like just laying down and following the mist with my eyesight. So I enter the room and I'm following with my eyesight without moving, and then once it touches, like it gets to like where my body was, like my feet was, I get a sleep paralysis, like when you can't move, you can't talk, like a sleep paralysis, and you just feel the pressure on top of you, like something's on top of you. We call this like cuando se te sube el muerto. A lot of people believe in it, a lot of people don't believe in it, but I believe in it, and it happens to me, like not a lot, but like I've had experienced this before, like sleep paralysis. I've had experienced that before, and I just thought the same thing, like, oh, I tried, like I didn't even bother trying to wake up my husband, because you can't speak. The like in your mind you're screaming and you want like somebody to wake up like touch you and like to wake you up, or to like snap you out of it. But you know, like nobody hears you, like you can't speak, you're just paralyzed, completely paralyzed. And so that's what happened, but I already knew what I was experiencing was a sleep paralysis. So que se me subió el muerto. And I already knew, like, he can't hear me, he's not gonna like listen to me, and I'm just here thinking, oh, I just gotta wait like for it to pass away, because it's gonna pass away. So, and I just gotta wait until I'm able to move again. But I see the time going by. Like I said, the last time I checked the phone was 2 in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning on the dot. And I'm experiencing this, and I'm feeling like, okay, like it's been more than 5 minutes now, because the most I had it was like 5 minutes, and it's like something real quick, you know. And I was like experiencing like more time, and then I knew something was wrong with me. Like this is not the same times like que se me subió el muerto. This was some other shit. Like this was something even worse. Like even I don't even know, but I was feeling it. I felt all the time I was awake, and I'm like, okay, but like in my mind I'm like, okay, this is taking too long, and I'm trying to move myself, because now I'm trying to move. Before I wasn't moving, I was just chilling there like, oh, it's gonna go away. And it wasn't passing, and then I started getting worried, and I tried to move. And then like once I was like, okay, it's not going to go away or something, I see my grandmother's face like just appeared. Like it just appeared in front of me. Like again, I couldn't move, but my eyesight stood down because I followed the mist coming in the room. And the last thing my eyesight got stuck on was looking down. And then that's when I saw my grandmother. I saw her face, like clearly her face. And she looked different, like obviously with like a yellowish pale color, like dead. Because, you know, I got a picture of her when she was in the casket. They sent me a video and a picture. So the way I saw her in the picture in the casket, that's the way she appeared to me, like her face. And then once I see her, like the inside of me, like it's so hard to explain, because like first of all, I don't know, you guys probably think I'm crazy and whatever, and I guess it doesn't really matter anymore. Like I know people think I'm crazy already. I'm telling this, I tell my family, like they don't believe it or whatever, I don't know, but I'm just saying the truth. And I'm just gonna say like how it happened. So I see her, and then it's like once I see her, I see myself, because I'm still paralyzed, but I saw myself. It's like a dream, like you see yourself sleeping, and I was watching myself grieve, because once I see her face, I literally screamed inside, or like the inner person me, like I saw myself screaming and crying and grieving once I saw her face, because look, I knew she had just passed away, and it was her burial day, and I knew like that's it, like she's buried down on the ground, and that's it. There's no more seeing her, no more talking with her, and that's what happened. And so I see myself, and then I got scared, because I got scared, like I guess the shock. I'm like, oh wow, like oh my god, I saw her, like, you know, I saw her dead, or I don't know, like it just scared me. And then I couldn't, and then, you know, it was already paralyzing too much, like the time was running by, and I couldn't move. And then after that, once like I snapped out of it, like after I saw myself crying and scream when I saw her, that she appeared to me, I started feeling my bloodstream from my head, from like my brain down to my feet, like warm, like so hot, like a hot flash, but like just feeling it running down on my right side, like it was so hot. And that triggered me. I'm like, okay, something is not wrong. And then my right arm started shaking, and my right leg was shaking. So this is when the stroke was happening. Like I remember how my stroke happened, because that's what I felt. And my fingers were tingling, and they were numbing. And I tried moving it, but I couldn't move. And And like I said, like it's been going, like all the symptoms, I'm feeling it, paralyzed, and I'm feeling it, and I'm capturing every moment of it to remember about it, because I knew this was important. Like I knew, like, thingy, and then I felt a sudden like tiredness, like I wanted to go to sleep, like whatever it was, like, because I knew something was in the room, or I saw my grandma, whatever, and it was forcing me to close my eyes, and I didn't, like, I was scared to close my eyes. I'm like, I felt like if I closed my eyes and if I gave in to whatever force or whatever was happening to me, that I wasn't gonna wake up. I knew it for a fact. I knew it in my heart, and I was so scared for my life. I was scared for my life, and the only thing I could see was my baby Irene, because I breastfed her, she was just right beside me, and since my eyesight got stuck looking down, that was the only thing I could look down to. And at this point, I'm already praying, like I'm panicking in the inside, but without talking or doing nothing, because I'm still paralyzed. And in my brain, I'm just like praying to God. I'm like, God, please, like, don't let me die. Like, I know it's not my time. My daughters need me. I just kept thinking, my daughters, I can't leave them alone, and I can't die. Like, I can't. I gotta wake up. And at this time, like, my right eye was twitching. It started twitching because it was forcing me to sleep, and I was fighting so hard not to fall asleep. I fought it with all my might. I fought it, and through my prayer, and I was just like, God, help me, whatever's going on with me, don't let me fall asleep, because I'm not gonna get up, I'm not gonna wake up. And I'm like, and I need my daughters, I need them, and as much as they need me, I want to be there, and once I felt that I was able to like move, and talk, and then I woke up my husband like right away. But it happened for 17 minutes exactly, because once I was able to move and like react, I checked the time, and it was 2:17. So all this happened in 17 minutes. That felt like an eternity. Hold on, guys.